Imagine getting arrested for being on your own property. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about yet another Atlanta area homeowner who is dealing with the issue of squatters. Now, this particular person got arrested, but I covered a story earlier in the year where the person was not arrested, but still they faced the same situation. Before I get into everything, let me explain what's going on. Now, this homeowner in Decatur went to go check on his property. And when he gets there, he discovers a squatter and some other stuff we'll get into in a minute. He's trying to evict the person right there. But as a result of that action, the squatter called the police. The police come and arrest the homeowner. Now, in the story from earlier this year, the person did not try to evict the squatter, but they're calling the police, and the police are kind of, I don't want to say dragging their feet, but they were kind of dragging their feet because of some laws that prevented them from being able to go in there and just kick the person out. The person had a fake lease. It was all kind of stuff going on. This is obviously an issue in Atlanta and other parts of the country as well. If you know about squatters in your area, let me know in the comments below. But it's obviously a big problem, and thieves are taking advantage of it. Now, we're going to get into a video, but I just want you to check out the headline here. Just read it. Homeowner arrested after trying to evict squatters from his own property. Quote, walked in on weapons, a lady at the night. I don't want to say that word because of YouTube. You know how it is. And a bunch of dogs. Now, before we look at this article, let's just get to the actual news clip. If you want to see it in full, link as always will be in the description. If you're on Instagram, check out the link in the bio. Go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
County man says that squatters broke into his home in February and they're still there. Backlogs with the courts and the marshal's office have left him legally unable to enter his own place. As Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray reports, there's finally an eviction order, but the homeowner is still waiting.
Tim Arcos says just days after his tenant moved out of his Eastlake rental home, he showed up to find someone had broken in. He says as soon as he pulled into the driveway, a gun was pointed at him.
I just jumped the fence and ran. I didn't know what else to do.
That was all the way back in February. 6 months later, the alleged squatters are still living in Arcos' DeKalb County home.
I didn't walk in on a family eating dinner. I walked in on weapons, a prostitute, a bunch of dogs in the back, my fence broken down.
But it was Arco police took into custody that day back in February after he called 911.
And they told the police that I was a home invader and that it was their home.
So wait. So when he pulls up to his own rental property to check on it out there in what they call it, the Decatur, Atlanta area, the squatter pulls a gun on the homeowner. He runs away, tries to escape. The squatter called the police on the homeowner, and the homeowner gets arrested. It's crazy.
And so I ended up being arrested and detained.
Since then, Arco has been fighting to evict the squatters in court. After months of court delays, the eviction order is finally signed, but now he's waiting on the marshals. John Ernst is Arco's attorney.
No one likes, being in the court system, but it becomes even worse when it seems broken down.
Back in May, we were there as a squatter at another DeKalb County home was evicted and arrested. And that case after a Channel 2 Action News story, the DeKalb sheriff bypassed the courts and served an intruder affidavit after Army Lieutenant Colonel Dahlia DeRay's home was taken over by squatters.
Now, my thing is this. Why must the homeowner have to call the news and whatnot to get some action taken legally? Why can't they just call the authorities and have this done straight away? You got to make it be a big thing. You got to go viral, got to get a lot of attention. Then you got to have something done. I hate the way that the legal system works sometimes because it gets really political, and it shouldn't be that way. You're a homeowner. This is your property. Squatters should not have rights over your property. Nobody should have rights over your property other than you, if you are the homeowner.
I felt violated.
How is that a lie?
That's a lie.
Are you not a squatter? You're the tenant? Do you have a lease?
Yes, I do. That's a lie.
Can you show me the lease?
I don't have to show you that.
Oh boy, here we go, man. These reporters are brave, rolling up on the squatters. Remember, the homeowner came to the property, and then the squatter pulled the pistol on him, so you don't want to be the next guy to get the Jimmy pulled on you. But, you know, there are cameras and everything rolling, but people are crazy. If you're crazy enough to squat on someone's property that's not yours and just do whatever you want to do, a prostitute, I'm not quite sure how they knew what the person did for a living, but whatever. If you got all of that kind of stuff going on, it's going to be kind of dangerous to just roll up on them like this. But shout out to the brave reporters out there in the Atlanta metro area.
One of the alleged squatters at Arco's home yelled at us while we were in front of the home shooting video that he is no squatter. You didn't break into this home?
Oh, no, sir.
Did somebody break into this house?
No, nobody broke in this house.
I feel like it's very heavily weighted towards these were trespassers and criminals, not people that got duped.
That was Justin Gray reporting. Arco was never charged with a crime once he showed police that it was his property, but it's now been 6 months waiting on the courts, and Arco has been told by marshals that he should be able to evict in the beginning of September.
September, wow. And they've been squatting there since February. I mean, the whole process is really crazy. Totally nuts. Obviously, it's an issue in Atlanta. I'm not quite sure if it's an issue in other parts of the country. Like I said, if you guys know more about squatters in your area that just prey upon homeowners, y'all let me know what's going on. But I kind of want to go through this article to see if I can see anything else. All right. So they're saying basically what was said earlier in it, talking about there was another tenant. So it was a rental property that he was renting to someone and the tenant left. And then the next time he goes there after the tenant moves out, there's a squatter. Now, of course, it could have been a situation where the tenant moved out and then let the squatter in. Maybe it was an inside job and knew each other. I have no idea. Something like that could have gone on. I hope that's not the case, but you never know. It most certainly could have been. All right, because after the previous tenant left, did you change the locks? Like, how did that really work? That'd be my question. So when he says that when the squatter says that nobody broke in, maybe he's telling the truth about nobody breaking in. Now, obviously, he is trespassing, he's squatting, but as far as breaking and entering into the home, that might be a different story altogether. All right, let me just keep on going here. So yeah, there's the home right there. All right, and that's a pretty decent area. You're not too far from Midtown. You're not too far from the city proper, Atlanta. So that's a desirable location for sure. It's probably worth quite a bit of money. It might look kind of like, regular, but it's probably worth some money for sure. And in a few years, it's definitely worth a lot of money because they keep wanting to expand Atlanta. That's definitely a desirable area to be. But look at this. 2 people have died in the residence from overdoses during that period of time. In a 6-month period of time, you've had 2 deaths from overdoses. Are they running a trap house? Like, what's going on? All right, now, watch this. Code enforcement has cited Arco, the actual homeowner, not the squatter, the homeowner. They cited Arco for not properly maintaining the house that he can't legally access. Because, again, he's going through the court system, and the eviction is scheduled for September through the marshals. But in between now and then, he cannot go into the home and make necessary repairs and upkeep the property because he would be considered a home invader or something of that nature, I suppose, although he was able to prove that it was in fact his property. It's totally crazy. All right, totally crazy. So, like I said, it's going to be in September. The laws are heavily weighted toward the trespassers and criminals. What he said was correct, and this is Lieutenant Colonel Dahlia DeRay. I covered her story earlier in the year about her squatter situation. She was, I think, away. I think she's in the reserves, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But she was away for military purposes in Illinois somewhere. And she, at one point, was renting the property out. She had done renovations and was going to list it. But in between her doing the renovations and trying to list a home, now we got to deal with a squatter, bringing in all types of garbage to her home. It's a mess. But yeah, hopefully my man Arco is able to get his home back, and hopefully anyone dealing with a squatter is able to get their home back. And as I close, I want to say this. I'm not quite sure what needs to happen here. Maybe we need to update some of these laws. Maybe when you're talking about a tenant, there should be specific information and rights for a tenant. If you are a tenant, you have a 1-year lease, and you don't do anything to violate your lease, you shouldn't just be able to get kicked out like that. You sign the paperwork. Hey, I got a year lease. I'm paying my rent. I'm not violating anything. Now, if you have to sell the property or whatever and you want to break the lease, okay, let's negotiate. Let's talk. But a squatter just running in your house, there's no communication with the homeowner to be able to move in. That right there most certainly shouldn't happen. The laws need to get updated, because having a gun pulled on you at your own house, and then the person who pulled the gun on you in your own house, a squatter, a home invader, calls you the home invader, then you get arrested. Totally crazy. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here out there in the Atlanta metro area? Is this happening in other parts of the country? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. We need to update these laws for sure to protect law-abiding citizens, the actual homeowners, people that have rights to a property, not those who want to squat, home invade, not pay their rent or whatever. And you know what? I'm going to add one last thing as I close. I think a lot of the squatters, although it's been going on for a very long time, it's not a new thing. I think they have been kind of emboldened since the scamdemic, because remember, there was an eviction moratorium. So even though people who were tenants at one point became squatters, you see, and then it became kind of, okay, I'm entitled to your property. I'm entitled to be here and not pay rent. I'm entitled to be here and call the police on you for trying to kick me out, although I have no rights to be in this place. I think that kind of emboldened criminals, and it made criminals out of people who were not criminals before that opportunity came along. But maybe they were criminals in their mind, but they were just not bold enough to go all the way through it. But the C-19 scandemic gave them the ability and the ammunition to go forward in their criminal aspirations. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.